This is a question we ask a lot of our guests. We get a broad variety of answers, but if you could bring back a deceased scientist and have a beer with them or a glass of wine, who would it be and what would you talk about?
Oh my God, that's an interesting question. Of course, everybody's going to say Charles Darwin, right? You know what? I would actually bring Gregor Mendel back. And the reason for that is I've been reading up a lot of stuff recently. People might not know, but next year is his 200th birth anniversary. And there's still a lot of debate to what extent Darwin and Mendel communicated or informed each other. It's getting clearer that Darwin's work had been read by Mendel, and he looked at that and it helped some of his thinking. But it's not clear whether the other way around also happened, whether there was some interaction with between Mendel and Darwin towards Darwin's side. The historical record suggests not, but hope springs eternal. The other one that I would bring back is Nikolai Vavilov, who most people might not know, but he was the great plant explorer and evolutionary biologist and geneticist who basically really started, I would say, the modern interest in crop biodiversity and the importance of looking at the origin and evolution of crops. And so he would be fascinating, I think, to bring about, especially since he also suffered through Lysenko. That would be interesting to find out. Yeah.
So what kinds of species did he focus on? What were his crops?
He did everything actually. He basically mounted these very large scale expeditions around the world to collect as many crop wild relatives and crop varieties as they could, focusing on wheat especially, of course, because that's what the Soviet Union was interested in. But he did everything and went everywhere. And the seed collection that he has is still one of the most important in the world, and the Vavilov Institute in Russia. And it's a fascinating place. It still has its original collection. And during World War II, people may not know this, but during the siege of the city, the scientists there could have saved themselves from starvation by breaking into the seed collection and eating them, and they didn't.
Wow!
They actually preferred to suffer rather than destroy that seed collection.
Wow.
So he's a fascinating person.
So Michael, you mentioned Lysenko. What was Vavilov's relationship? Did he work for him, or I imagine there was probably some.
No, they clashed, and Vavilov suffered because of his clash with Lysenko. Because of that, he was a hardcore not Lysenko. Vavilov was a really hardcore geneticist, so he was not having none of Lysenko's.
Not going to buy into that mentality. Yeah, good. All right, so one more quick warm-up question before we get going. What COVID quarantine skill did you take on?
I didn't. My wife learned Italian, so she's now fluent in Italian during that period. Did I have a COVID skill? No, I didn't. I wasn't baking sourdough bread or anything like that. I was kind of boring. I was writing papers, and writing grant proposals. I don't think I got any better in those during the pandemic, but that's really what I was doing. Yeah, I'm boring that way.